Hey y'all, I'm trying to get used to TikTok. But I've been having so many downloads tonight. Trying to see how this algorithm gonna do. But I'm full of energy. I can't sleep, so I decided to go live and just talk about some of the downloads I've been having on the night. And basically, the first download that I've had is Lord, I lost my train of thought. I think I hate when that happens. I'm sorry, but thank y'all for joining. It'll come back to me. Give me a second. I'm just full of energy. Like this new moon in Gemini, it's really magical. We're in a magical time right now, and it's amazing. It's amazing. It feels amazing. Um, it's a blessing. How are some of you all are feeling? Are you all into astrology or numerology, or into the moon cycles? I actually saw the new moon in Gemini standing on my patio tonight, and it was symbolizing the yin and yang symbol. You can literally see it if you zoom in, and I guess it's depending on where you are, but where I am in the United States, I could see the new moon in Gemini, and it was a representation of the yin and yang symbol. If you all know how that look, the masculine and the feminine energy. It was amazing to see that. It had really put me in the awe. I've been in a heart of gratitude all day today, because the energy that's here on the earth is very magical. It's a great time to set intentions and be intentional about what you want or what it is that you desire. We are in a new month, so happy new month, happy June. New energy, new day, new frequencies, a new month. So it's good to set your intentions, maybe for the week or maybe for the whole month. It's important that we are intentional about the moves that we are making. It's important that we are intentional about the people, places, and things that we are allowing in our circle, or allowing to sit at our table. But pretty much, again, I'm here tonight because I couldn't sleep, and some more downloads just coming left and right. So I was like, let me get up and go live on TikTok. I went live on my YouTube channel earlier, and I was just telling them over there on YouTube how we truly and really have endless possibilities. However, once you as an individual or as a collective step out of that circle of endless possibilities, then you then become out of alignment with yourself. And not just yourself, but the people, places, and things around you. Once you step out of the circle of endless possibilities. And I was just basically saying a lot of individuals have stepped out of the circle of the endless possibilities of who we are at our core, because of the generational programming or the generational curses that's been placed upon our bloodline that we haven't healed. And because society, because the world has placed so many false identities upon us, this is how we become trapped in carrying the burdens of the world, from the programming that we were under as childhood, the trauma that we dealt with, and then, going out into the world, and then the world placing the false identities on us and basically telling us who we are. And after a while of being programmed that way, you start living outside of yourself, which is how we step outside of the circle of endless possibilities. And as long as we're living outside of ourselves, we're constantly going to continue to be victims of our circumstances and not the creators of our realities. When we are in the circle of endless possibilities, when we know who we are, when we know our true selves, when we walk in authenticity, we basically can create the life that we truly desire from ourselves. And again, once you step out of that circle and become out of alignment with yourself, again, a victim blame people, places, and things as to what's going on in our reality. And a creator holds themselves accountable for the things that's taking place in their reality. And it's a difference. And 97% of individuals on the planet are out of alignment with themselves. And I understand how a lot of people are out of alignment, again, because no one teaches us, no one program us to be positive. No one teaches us about how we are the gods and goddesses that the world speak of. No one teaches us these things. So we are constantly living a life basically from an external standpoint, constantly chasing things outside of ourselves, and that keeps us trapped, that keeps us repeating cycles, patterns, and loops. And again, that keeps us in the victim mentality. And I always share with people that it's important and that it's imperative that we heal, because we have become so brainwashed. We have become so brainwashed that people would rather be comfortable with a lie than to believe the truth. And that's really, really, really sad. I look around today and see a lot of the things that's going on in the world, and see a lot of things that's going on with like my close loved ones, my family and my friends. And I'm just like, wow. And I don't judge others, because I was once a victim myself. But now that I have awareness, now that I am the creator of my reality, I sit back and I really see how misconstrued the world has caused people to be. Wow, people are really mentally out here losing their mind. It's just amazing to see things, from the awareness and the perspective that I have today. Like I always tell people, self-awareness and self-realization is the key to life. If you don't have that, then you just pretty much hit. You pretty much chasing your own behind. And again, people have been so brainwashed from society and from the external things that this is how you consistently continue to repeat cycles. We have to begin to heal, bro. We have been brainwashed long enough from society and from the programs and things that was placed on us. And it's time for us as individuals and as a collective to heal ourselves, because how you gonna win if you ain't right within? The only way out is to go in, and they don't teach us that. They teach us to constantly look outside of ourselves. They teach us that we have to go work this job. We have to constantly do. People in the world are so unbalanced. The world itself is so unbalanced. We don't have balance. We don't have boundaries. People don't have self-respect. People don't have awareness of who they are. And we just got a bunch of people just constantly just going like a energetic bunny, just constantly looping and repeating the same cycles and patterns from eon, that was placed on the bloodline in the first place. We have to, in order to heal, you have to pluck up the roots of the programming or the generational curses or patterns that was placed on your bloodline. As a collective, we all have some type of trauma that we have dealt with, right? And if we never catch and heal that trauma, we carry these habitual habits into adulthood, and this is how we move, be, and have our way. Again, we was told to step out of this circle of endless possibilities, to dumb us down, to brainwash us, to keep us from truly tapping into who we are. Like I tell the people, if it wasn't for us, a lot of these things here on earth, we wouldn't have, the world wouldn't go around if it wasn't for us as the gods and goddesses here on the earth. We do not have a God outside of us that's going to come and save us. We don't have an enemy that's going to attack us. It is all us. The only thing that's real is energy. We have a higher self and we have a lower self. And our higher self will be more intuition based, and our lower self will be more ego and pride based. And the goal in life is to balance it. Yeah, the goal in life is to have balance of your higher self and your lower self, because it's you. It's all you. It's just that we get stuck on the lower spectrum of the frequencies. We get stuck on the lower parts of the energy because, again, we was never taught to live from a place of being our higher self. We was never told that we are the gods and goddesses of the world, because we was always told to look outside of ourselves, right? And this is why we have a bunch of male and females. We have females more in the masculine energy and males more in the feminine energy, which causes a chemical imbalance, which causes an unbalance here on the earth. And this is why you see things happening in the world. It's because people are out of alignment with themselves. That's why there's a lot of chaos in the world. People have been out of alignment with themselves for eons now. And it's just a really amazing to see things unfolding with the perspective and the awareness that I have today. Again, I was an individual that was once a victim, but I chose to heal the programming that was placed upon my bloodline. I didn't have it easy growing up. I was brought up. I'm a sibling of 6. My mom had 6 kids, 3 girls and 3 boys. When I was younger, my trauma was my father wasn't there. He was in prison 30 years of my life. And I'm getting ready to be 38 years old on the 26th of this month. So, my dad was gone my whole entire life. My dad just came home from prison it's been about 5 years now that he's been home. So a lot of my trauma came from that, seeing my mama do it, seeing my mother raise 6 kids on her own, and always seeing her doing, and making sure her kids were straight. And like my grandmother, she was single because her husband, he's still in prison today as we speak, and my grandmother is 72 years old. So, again, we all have some form of trauma that's placed on the bloodline that we have to heal. And if not, it get passed down from generation to generation. Like myself, if I wasn't choosing to heal, then that trauma would be passed on down to my 2 daughters, because I have 2 daughters, one 18 and one a daughter that's 8. So if I didn't choose to heal the programming or the trauma that was placed upon my bloodline, then it will be passed on down to my daughters, and so on. And this is why we have a bunch of people here on the planet out of alignment with themselves, because the trauma is constantly passed down from generation to generation. And here the next thing you 60, 70 years old, still repeating the same cycles, patterns, and constantly looping. Because you never chose to heal. You thought anything wasn't wrong with you because you were brainwashed for so long. But I'm here to tell you, once you begin to heal the trauma, the programming that was placed upon your bloodline, and begin to come from under the illusions of the world and that society placed on us, your whole life can change. It's nothing that we can't do or have once we get back in alignment. A lot of people feel like they can't do or have because they're out of alignment with themselves, and it starts with self first. Self-awareness is key. Self-realization is key. It starts with us. For a long time, when I was a victim, some things that I went through in a 7-year marriage. When I was a victim, I was constantly blaming him for everything, not realizing that it was me betraying myself, not realizing that it was me cheating on myself, not realizing that it was me not loving myself, and not realizing it was me lying on myself. And it's because I didn't know who I was. So a lot of the things that I experienced in the marriage is because that's the frequency I was on. I was truly unaware of myself. I had truly became unrecognizable with myself and forgot who the fuck I was. But as I chose to heal, I began to come from under that curse, come from under that trauma that was placed on me, and I began to give people that shit back because it wasn't mine in the first place. Again, we're not taught to heal and love, and we're not taught these things. So I get it. I get it why we have a world full of people that's out of alignment with themselves, because we're not taught in school to heal ourselves. The world don't teach us to heal ourselves. The world don't teach us to love ourselves. If anything, the world teaches us to constantly look outside of ourselves for the answers, and the whole time the answers are within us. The answers was never outside of us like society told us. The answers are always within. And here it is, we going to church, we going to school, we doing, working these jobs, doing, never being still learning who we are or knowing who we are. Right? And this is how we lose ourselves. This is how we become unrecognizable with ourselves, because we're constantly chasing things outside of us. We was told to chase money. We was told to chase this. We was told to chase that. And we don't have to do that. Right? And in society, the world, they don't want us to know about the power being within us, because this was one of many reasons how they was able to manipulate us and brainwash us from tapping into our power. But we are the ones that make the world go round. A lot of the things wouldn't be surviving here on this planet if it wasn't for us consuming these things. We was taught to consume things outside of us. This is why a lot of corporation jobs standing, a lot of things like nail shops and house shops. This is the reason why a lot of these places are successful, because of us as a collective and as individuals consuming these things outside of us, constantly looking for things outside of us, and never taking the time to heal ourselves to see that it was us all along. As an individual and as the collective, we have to begin to hold ourselves accountable and call back our power and energy that we have given away for so long. We have to call it back in, so that we can create from the gods and goddesses create from the standpoint of the gods and goddesses that we are. Again, we don't have a God in the sky that's going to fall out the sky and come save us, and we don't have an enemy. It is us. It is our higher self and our lower self. And it's just that on that, period. So again, the kingdom of heaven is within us. Right? It's about energy. It's about frequency. It's about vibration. And what are you operating from? What frequency are you on? What frequency are you creating from? It's about being in alignment with yourself and becoming whole with yourself. Because when you heal, you are tapping into wholesome. You are whole. You're tapping into wholeness. When you're out of alignment, you are broken. You are a half. And that's not who we were created to be. We all have powers within us. We all are unique in some way, shape, or form. We all have the ability to create the life that we truly desire. We just have to come from under the victim mentality that was placed upon us. And once you come from under the victim mentality, once you come from under the spell of the illusions and the lies and things of the world, it's nothing that you can't be, do, or have. So it's an amazing time that we're in. Like I said, for those who are just joining, happy new month, happy new energy. And I basically was saying, like, we have to be more intentional about what we are creating in our lives. And I'm only speaking to the creators. I'm not talking to individuals who are a victim and constantly blame people, places, and things outside of them as to why their life is hell. Right? Because how you gonna win if you ain't right within? What you're full of, you're projecting outward. Just pay attention to what's in your reality, and you can pretty much tell what you're doing because it's you. It's not the person, place, or thing. It's you. See, when you're a victim, you give your power away to people, places, and things. But when you are a creator, you hold yourself accountable and you have your power. So if it's something that's manifesting in your life that you truly do not like, you are able to change it because you have awareness and realization of who you are. A healer is authentic. Like I hear a lot of people talking about the chosen one, and a chosen one is not defined by material things or material possessions. A chosen one is authentic. The material things, the cars you drive, the money that's in your pocket, the clothes that you wear, that doesn't define what a chosen one is. You're just projecting, and you think you're a chosen one by the material things, but you got $100 hat and a 2-cent brain. You're truly out of alignment with yourself if you think a chosen one is defined by the things that you have. Again, that's a victim. Right? But again, that's one of the many of the false identities that was placed upon us. Because it didn't just start in the home. It also started when when we went through school, elementary, middle, and high. And then, you graduate from school. Some of us may have went to college and graduated. And then, like, you enter the world. Once you enter the world, that's it. Especially if you haven't learned who you are. And it's like the systems and things here was placed here to keep us from not tapping into who we truly are and being dumbfounded and not knowing that the power is within us. That's why the false powers that be was able to control us for so long in the first place. Because we were stripped of our true identities and placed with false ones. Like, I've been learning on my journey, like, our last names probably isn't even our real last names. Our last names came from, like, ancestry times, like, when they was dealing with whatever they were dealing with in ancestry times and, slavery or whatever. And this is how some of us have the last names that we have from the slave masters in ancestry times. Like, I've been learning so much on my journey. It's been amazing, but I'm on my journey now where I'm tapping into more of the magical side because I know that I'm the creator of my reality and I'm no longer associated with the victim mentality. So I'm at a level of my life where I'm starting to see the things that I desire because I chose to heal. Right? And you only can you only can get the things in your life that you truly desire by healing, by choosing to heal. And it gets lonely going to the top. Everybody and everyone is not going to be able to sit at your table with you once you begin to heal what was placed on your bloodline as far as the trauma or the programming goes. And you will see that along the way once you start healing. Like, are some of you here tonight? This morning, are some of you on y'all healing journey? Because if you are, you know what I'm speaking of. And even if you're not, you still know what I'm speaking of. Because, like I said, you're either a victim to your circumstances or the creator of your reality, and you can't be both, and you get to choose. And a lot of people are afraid to be alone. This is why you have individuals that jumps out one relationship and goes to the next. They never giving themselves time to heal because they are scared to face themselves and sit alone. But Healing requires lonesome. You have to learn to be alone so that you are able to heal yourself. And when you're healing, this is how you are able to gain self-discipline when it comes to things. And that's where I'm at on my journey. Like, I have so much discipline. You know, and changed my eating habits and things of that nature. But that came with time. That didn't come overnight. Like me speaking to you all on the live now, that came with time. That didn't come overnight. The old version of myself wouldn't have never got up here and went live and started talking in front of the camera. Like, this comes with growth. I chose to grow, and I'm choosing to continue to grow. And the more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that I have, you know, again, it's easy for me to maneuver through life, because now I know that I'm the creator. I'm now in alignment with myself. And when you're in alignment with yourself, it's nothing that you can't be, do, or have. It's the moment that you step out of the circle of endless possibilities when you lose yourself. But we have to get back to that circle of endless possibility. We have to get back to the circle of knowing ourselves. We have to get back to the circle of the gods and goddesses that we were meant to be. We've been out of the circle long enough. We've been manipulated and brainwashed long enough. It's time to get back into the circle of endless possibilities of who we truly are. You know, like I said, I get that society and the world has dumbed us down and placed the false identities and spells and illusions upon us. But we're in a time now where the truths are being revealed. And if you know, you know. But you know, we're coming from under that spell that was placed on us for so long. You know, and this is why it was easy for the generational programming or the generational curses to be passed down from bloodline to bloodline, which is why we got a world of people who can't think for themselves. You got to ask the right questions to get the right answers. Right? As long as you're allowing somebody to manipulate you and continue to place false identities upon you, you will never know that you are the god and goddesses of the world. You will never know that you are the creator of your reality, because you're stuck in the victim mentality, which is a false identity that was placed upon you from the programming and from the trauma. Because again, we all have some type of trauma in some way, shape, or form. Whether that was in childhood or adulthood, we've been traumatized with something, because look at the world. The world is based off of lies. The world is based off of illusions. Like, we are in spiritual warfare. This battle, these things that we're seeing in the world today, it's the real versus the fake. It's the truth versus the lies. So what frequency are you on? Or what frequency do you want to be on? Because you have to be on a higher frequency in order to attract the things in your life that you truly desire. And you can't get on a higher frequency if you're not choosing to heal. And when you're not choosing to heal, you are on a lower frequency, and you're only going to create or manifest things from a lower frequency. Because the only thing that's real is energy. And that's, you know, once you get on your journey, once you begin to heal, like, you will see that the whole entire time you was protecting your energy. You was protecting your peace. But we have to choose. We get to choose. And because a lot of people are scared to be alone, you know, they choose to not heal. And you will constantly repeat cycles, patterns, and loops when you're choosing not to heal. But you get to make that choice. And we all do, as individuals and as a collective. The highest frequency is love. And again, it starts with self first. Because how can somebody value you if you don't first value yourself? How can someone love you if you don't first love yourself? The most important thing that I'm going to say here this morning is to be true to yourself. Be true to self first. And then be true to self. And then be true to self. And then if you're not true to self, you're easily manipulated. You're easily lied to. You don't love yourself. It's easy for people to, to use you and to drain you. When you are a victim. So we have to learn to come from under that victim mentality so that we are able to be the gods and goddesses that we were created to be in the first place. We have to remove the false illusions and the false identities that was placed upon us from the world and from society so that we're able to elevate and grow in life and create the life that we truly desire for ourselves. And not just for ourselves, but, for our children and, and so on. Because again, the programming was passed down from bloodline to bloodline, and it constantly gets passed down because no one is choosing to heal what was placed on the bloodline. They're under the spell, and as long as you're under the spell, you will look up at 80 years old still repeating same cycles and patterns, and we're seeing it today. Just look around of what's going on in the world today. But it starts with us first as individuals and as a collective. Again, self-awareness and self-realization is the key to life. And if you don't have that, then you don't have anything. You're a one-sided. But awareness is the key. Being aware of who you are and knowing yourself, it's amazing. And once you have it, when you know better, you do better. Right? When you are healing, you know that you're both. You are the higher self and the lower self. You just have balance. And you're whole. And you, like I said, you've awakened back to your true self. You're back in the circle of endless possibilities where it's nothing, like I said, it's nothing that you can't be, do, or have. You just have to learn to, again, to heal yourself and shift your belief systems. Because a lot of our beliefs didn't come from us. It came from society. It came from the world. It came from the false identities that was placed on us from people, places, and things outside of us. So a lot of the identities that we have, it wasn't ours in the first place. It was passed on down to us. And it kept us brainwashed from our true selves. But we're in a very magical time. Like I said, a new moon, a full moon is a great time to be intentional about the things that you desire in your life and the things that you want to create in your life. The moon was very beautiful tonight. Like I said, it represented the yin and yang symbol, the masculine and the feminine energy. And this is why I'm up, because I'm so full of energy. Like I feel so magical. And it's amazing. I feel good. And we all can feel this way. We just have to heal the shit that was placed on us or that was given to us along the way. Life is the best teacher. It'll definitely teach you everything you need to know. And people, places, the things, it's just going to mirror what you're full of within. And what you're full of within will be projected outside. So what you're projecting, what you're seeing in your reality, you can't blame nobody but yourself. So if it's things that you don't like, you can't blame nobody but yourself. You have to learn to take accountability for you. And accountability requires leaving loved ones behind, leaving close ones behind, friends, family, leaving a lot of things behind. Because this battle is between you and you. This battle is you versus you, not you versus the world, not you versus people, places, the things. The battle is you versus you. But I just wanted to come on here and share that with you all this morning. How are you all doing? Is there anything else that you all would like to know that I can share? Do anyone have any questions about what I'm discussing? Any feedback? No questions. Y'all just listening. I like engagement. Nobody has a question. No one has nothing to say. Can y'all hit that like button? Put your girl in the algorithms. Because I have much more wisdom to share with the world. Go follow your girl on YouTube at Purposely Conceived. Purposely_conceived, like in your mother's womb. That's my YouTube channel, Purposely Conceived. I have videos over there too. I actually went live over there on YouTube earlier, but I had a visual picture of pretty much what I was discussing or what I was talking about. So y'all can go check that out. But no one has no questions about the victim or creator. I'm not going to hold you all long. I just wanted to come on here and share that with you all on this morning. I hope you all have an amazing new month of June. I hope you all continue to be blessed. And I hope you all, just be intentional about the things that you want. Be intentional about yourself. I love you all, TikTok family. Yes, just learn to be more intentional about the people, places, and things that you're allowing in your environments. Because you can't heal in chaos. As long as you are in chaos, that's a distraction from where you want to go. Especially if you have dreams. You definitely can't afford no distractions. And not saying that the distractions won't come, because they are a catalyst for your growth, but you can't afford any distractions, because our imagination is very powerful, and we get to plant seeds in our imagination as to the things that we are wanting in life, which is why we project what we're full of. If you're an individual that has awareness, you pretty much know that our imagination is where we plant the seeds, right? And whether they are negative or positive seeds, that's what's going to bring your fruits. That's what's going to bring your manifestation. The seeds that you are planting in your own imagination, which is why I say you're either a victim or a creator, and you can't be both. and you do get to choose, because it's you. It's you planting the seeds. So if it's you planting the seeds, then that's you getting the results that you're getting. So I suggest that you all plant positive seeds. I suggest that you all choose to heal. Because if you know, again, if you're not healing, you're out of alignment. You are in victim mentality, and you're constantly going to repeat the same cycles, patterns, and loops when you're not choosing to heal. And a lot of people have become so brainwashed that they don't think nothing is wrong with them, and they sick as hell. You know, when you're out of alignment, this is how you attract diseases and illnesses. To you. This is how you attract just low frequency shit to you when you're out of alignment. You're easy to get caught up in the ways of the world and become burdened by the ways of the world. And again, when you're out of alignment, you're a victim. So you're constantly blaming the people, places, and things outside of you as to why your life is shit. Because it's you. You are the gods and goddesses that the world speak of. It's crazy how people know us more than we know ourselves. Right? And again, that's because the false identities that was placed on us. But you can definitely call your power back. You can call your energy back, and you can begin to heal the programming or the curses that was placed upon your bloodline. Because generational trauma, generational programming, generational curses, whatever word you want to use, is passed down from our grandparents, and then our grandparents passes it down to our parents, then our parents passes it down to us. And just like they get to choose, and they chose to pass it down to us, we get to choose whether we want to pass it down to our children or whether we gonna stop it and heal it. We get to choose. We all get to choose. Our grandparents got to choose, our parents got to choose, we get to choose, and our children get to choose. So why not teach them about who they are? Like the wisdom and knowledge that I have today, this is self-discovery. This is self-mastery. My mother and my grandmother didn't have the wisdom and knowledge to share with me that I'm sharing with you all today. However, because I have awareness, I'm able to share it with my children. Like I'm able to teach them about things that I wasn't taught. Like I wasn't taught about credit and none of that. So, I'm thankful and I feel blessed to be able to teach my 19-year-old about credit. She got her first credit card last year in August for her 18th birthday, and now it's getting ready to be a year that she has had her credit card, and she's doing very well because I was able to teach her. I was able to allow her to see through me, because I am the vessel, that it was never about the material things and the worldly things like they told us, like society told us. So I'm truly thankful to be able to teach my daughters what my mother and my grandmother wasn't able to teach me, or what they didn't choose to heal on the bloodline. Because again, as I said earlier, for those who are just joining, I was basically talking about how generational programming curses or patterns is passed down from our grandparents to our parents to us, and then if we don't choose to heal, we pass it down to our children, and this is how it constantly goes down the bloodline. And then we have a bloodline of unhealed motherfuckers walking around, mentally insane. And healing don't feel good, but it's worth it. Healing can get ugly, but it's worth it. It allows you to shape your belief system so that you're able to create the life that you truly desire for yourself. Because when you're out of alignment, you can't create the life that you truly desire for yourself, because you're out of alignment. You're caught up in the world, in the ways of the world. And when you are caught up in the ways of the world, you're under illusions, you're under lies, you're under false identities, and you're only going to attract things from that place. You have to heal in order to elevate. You have to want to grow in order to to move being have the things that you want in your life. You cannot do that from a lower frequency. You have to have balance. So, I see how a lot of people constantly repeat the same cycles, patterns, and loops because they are afraid of healing and they are afraid of being alone. And I get it. But who wants to keep living their life in hell when you can create heaven on earth? Like, really, you can create heaven on earth. Truly. Along my journey, I thought I wasn't ever going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I didn't give up on myself. It was plenty of times I wanted to give up on myself and throw in the towel, but I had to keep going because I knew eventually I was going to make it to the top, and I did. I did. It's nothing a motherfucker can tell me because I have experienced it. Because I have self-awareness and I have self-realization. I know who I am. I know who I truly am. So it's nothing no one can tell me. Person, place, or thing. Because I am the creator of my life. I am no longer the victim of my circumstances. And since I've been the creator of my life, I've been creating the things that I desire in my life. Like, it's amazing. I was fucked up one time. Like, when I was out of alignment with myself, my money flow was messed up. Like, everything was just fucked up. It was like I was living in hell. But the more I began to heal, the more I chose to heal, wow, I'm really in a magical time in my own life. The word of God says, speak life. Life and death is in the power of the tongue in which we say it is, in which we speak it. What are you speaking? How are you speaking to yourself? How do you feel about yourself? And we are already doing it. We just don't have awareness that we're doing it, which is why we're victims and we constantly blame people outside of us. But as a creator, you can hold yourself accountable. So now that I'm a creator, I hold myself accountable. And I have zero tolerance for fuck shit. Because I know who I am. And I know if it's something that I desire, I know that I'm the creator. My money flow was fucked up when I was out of alignment. Like, it wasn't nothing going right for me until I got back in alignment with myself and got back in the circle of endless possibilities. And now I'm able to create the life that I truly desire for myself. And it feels amazing. Like, when you know better, you do better. And that's just what I do. Like I said earlier, like, I'm just very intentional about my environment. I'm very intentional about how I move. I'm very intentional about what I speak, what I see, what I hear. I'm very intentional about what I'm planting in my imagination. Because I am the creator, so I have to watch it. Right? We're just like plants. And what happened to a plant when you don't water it? It dies, right? Same way with us. If we're not watering ourselves, if we're not feeding ourselves, we're going to spiritually die. And that's pretty much how it works. And when you're spiritually dead, you're out of alignment with yourself. And this is how it's easy this is why when you're out of alignment with yourself, it's easy for you to attract things into your life that you don't like, that you hate, right? You feel like you're in hell. And it's because you're on a low frequency. But the moment you tap back into that higher frequency, the moment you get back in alignment with yourself, the windows of heaven are going to open up for you. And I promise you that. Because it all starts with us. It's the things that we're putting into our imagination as to the fruition and what we're seeing in our 3D reality. So, it feels amazing to be able to hold myself accountable and not blame people, places, and things outside of me as to why my life was fucked up in the past. But boy, now that I know better, shit, it ain't nothing you can tell me. Like I got this shit in the headlock and I'm constantly going to the top. I'm to the point now where in my life, like I said, I got zero tolerance for fuck shit. I can't afford no chaos. And like even if chaos come or a distraction come, I know it's a catalyst for my growth. But I'm learning to no longer to leak my energy on things that don't matter. I don't have attachment to things outside of me like I did when I was a victim. This is how I attracted my partner to me. And it came with a bunch of betrayal, cheating, lies, illusions, false identities. It came with a whole lot. But when I gained awareness of myself, I was able to hold myself accountable for what I allowed, and I learned to give people their shit back. And the human part of me is things every day that I don't have my family. I thought I was gonna have my family. Like I thought me and my family was going to be together. Like y'all, I really didn't even get to experience. Well, I can't say I ain't experienced, but I didn't get to experience what I wanted in my 7-year marriage because I didn't know who I was as an individual. I was lost. I was under the false illusions and the false identities that was placed upon me. So I didn't even really get a chance to experience, a happily ever after marriage because of my trauma. Yeah, because of my trauma. So, but it's cool. I have awareness now. And now where I am, I attract an individual from the place where I am now when I'm ready. But I'm truly thankful that I began to heal myself. It feels good. It's nothing. It feels great to be financially free and to have freedom and to be able to move in out of my way like I desire. Right? You only can do that when you're in alignment and when you choose to heal. You cannot do that as long as you're out of alignment with yourself. So what a journey. What a magical time that we're in. But yes, y'all, we have to come from under those illusions of the world and the false identities that was placed on each and every one of us from society and from worldly things. You don't need validation outside of yourself. You don't need no one to value you outside of yourself. You don't need no one to love you. You have to do these things with self first. And then you will attract people, places, and things from there. Because self-awareness and self-realization is the key to life. So I just wanted to come give y'all my take this morning, TikTok family. I love you all, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.